really old work. It's going back probably to the time of the ideography, kind of that stuff, you know, when he was doing a lot of woodcuts and lino printing and that kind of stuff.
It's a terrible thing that we can allow ourselves to dehumanize, or we can be patronized. Oh, colors are such good dancers, make such lovely food. Oh, the women are so beautiful. And we believe it because it's a positive affirmation coming from our strongest critics on a good day, right? But it's we must never allow our address to designate who we are to the ones who look at us. Our DNA only says really where we come from. It doesn't say who we are. You take people out of context, but we have to look at what has been done about for the people that are so easily classified colored. And the Cape colored identity is different from somebody from KwaZulu-Natal who can say to you, oh, you know, my great-grandmother was Zulu. And might even speak that language. Whereas ourselves, we were here before 1652, and at 1652 at the intersectionality of that and beyond. And every step along the way, they take us from ourselves, they take us from our language, everything that makes you human, because colonialism has alienated ourselves from the substantial way of how we salute the world.
Right around the trigger, demanding my submission. The guttural sound stuttered. Jesus Christ was white. We are God's chosen children. For this land we have made a down the payment of death, commemorating it with a monument. To make more rands, we have moved the blacks by truckloads and dumped them in homelands. It is a grief of departure from the land of occupation to the land where occupation is a label of trade, austerity, acquisition, and hoarding are reaching for the dreams of prosperity.
If we want to talk about the so-called coloured community as a group, even though we know they're not homogenous, but we really suffer from trauma that's been almost like hardwired into our DNA, I think.
True.
And I think a lot of that is a factor when we see all kinds of things happening in communities, on the Cape Flats especially. I think so.
This issue of having a sense of belonging, you may want to check on the statistics. I think there are about 100,000 gang members in Cape Town or the Western Cape.
How much?
Sure.
How many?
That's a huge figure, and that maybe relates to the issue of having an identity and belong. The gangs actually provide that in the absence of a broader identity and so on.
They do.
Yeah. But a lot of people have internalized the use of the name coloured. Personally, we don't subscribe to that term ourselves. In the 70s, we identified as black during the Black Consciousness movement led by Steve Biko. You were either white or you were black, and if you were black, you were oppressed. If you were white, you were a beneficiary of the system, and so on. Of course, some whites, there were a few
half a dozen or so also identified as black.
A bit more than half a dozen.
Okay, 6 dozen then. But there were whites who identified as, part of the struggle, identified as part of the black majority. And of course there were coloureds and blacks who didn't identify as black, who collaborated with the system and so on. So identity is also about consciousness, how you think, not only about colour.
This is the road that I was born in.
Which road is this?
This is York Street.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of the houses have been rearranged
Yeah.
and it's not really the same. I think if I must come back here to come and live here, it won't be the same.
No.
This was my house.
Okay. Where you were
Number
born?
12. Yes, I was born here in 1948. Guess how much my dad got for this house? 3,000 rand.
What?
3,000 rand. Wow. So I often come to mosque, come past the house and I saw the advert, Rosen, the company, house up for rent. Stop, I took the name, went home and I phoned Rosen and I said, good day, I would like to know what the rental is. So she says to me, 6,500 rand. So I said, shame. She said to me, excuse me. I said, shame. She said, why do you say shame? I said, it is a shame, you know. I was born in that house. My dad, all our boys were builders and we always had our house immaculate. And I said to her that we were thrown out by force. And he got 3,000 rand for the house. You're getting double that amount now for 1 month's rent. Who's making the money out of us?
58 years, almost 60, I would say 58. I came in 1960, and I was born in South Africa in 1941 in 2nd Avenue, Kenilworth, and it was a mixed area. We were classified as Cape Coloured. My father was Javanese, Dutch, and my mother was partly German, mostly German, and Bushman. But the Bushman side of it got wiped away because it wasn't kosher. So they put the Bushman photographs, turned it around and put it in the back of the family's photograph thing. My father was darker than my mum. My mum was quite fair. But my father looked down upon my mum because she had Bushman blood in her. My father didn't have any African blood in him. He was purely Javanese. So he saw himself as superior racially because of... it was the nature of the culture of the time.
Yes, they put a new roof on it. I can see, I remember the old roof. This is a new roof. Completely changed.
And this wall wasn't, the wall wasn't there, right?
No wall there.
Okay.
The whole landscape is completely changed. It kicked all the coloured people out of the house.
Yeah.
That's why we left South Africa, because we got evicted from our house.